It's only been 6 months since Travis Scott's fans lost their lives at his Astroworld music festival, and now he's returning to the stage and acting like nothing ever happened. Just recently, his partner Kylie Jenner shared a photo of her and Travis on the beach living their best life. As you can see, they're at some island, some beach, right by the water. It looks amazing. And it must be nice to have that luxury to be alive, unlike his fans who lost their lives or his other fans who have been injured. Nonetheless, Kylie just shared this picture of Travis on her page. They don't really post a lot of pictures together, so it's another rare instance we see Travis out. And I'm sure they were joined by their children, Stormy and their son, who doesn't have a name. Kylie announced that it was Wolf, and then she went back and said it's not Wolf. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that, but comment below what you think, because isn't it kind of bizarre to announce a child's name and then go back? Like, I understand if you take some time to decide the name, but like, you don't announce a name, start calling it by that, and then just switch it up. But their vacation won't last long because Travis has a performance to attend to. So Travis Scott is scheduled to perform at a club called 11 in Miami, which will be his first public appearance since Astroworld only 6 months ago. Here's the 11 nightclub. It looks like it's pretty pricey. It's got the $3 signs, which is, I stay away from the 3. I can do the 2 and the 1, preferably the 1. And it's located in Miami, and it seems like it's pretty large and legitimate venue. I'm surprised they would want someone like Travis at their place performing because he is such a dangerous person. There were 10 people who lost their lives at his Astroworld event, and they all passed away from compression and having no oxygen to breathe. There was so much chaos at this festival that, Travis was rallying them all up, and they ended up coming together and crushing each other to death and injuring people and leaving so many hundreds with PTSD. More than 300 people were injured at the concert and 25 were hospitalized. So who even knows what happened to them, or did anyone lose a limb? Like, we don't even know. So Travis is returning, and actually later on in this video, we're going to be speaking to our friend Charlie Min. He is a filmmaker who created the documentary Concert Crush about Travis Scott. But before we talk to him and about his thoughts about Travis's return, let's talk a little bit about a few other performances that Travis has been sneaking in. So Travis was cut from the Coachella lineup, so he was not in attendance at that festival, but he did perform at a Coachella after party, so he did his little thing on the side. It actually turns out he performed at a venue called La Quinta, and he played 5 of his songs. So that is like a short performance right there, 5 songs. I thought it was just maybe 1 song. And another performance he did was right around the Oscars. He didn't play at the Oscars, but he did play at a house party in Bel Air. Supposedly Leonardo DiCaprio was there. Ooh, and Serena Williams. And that was actually his first time picking up the mic since Astroworld. Everyone on social media captured his performance. He played sicko mode, and it was his first time since the tragedy. But now Travis is coming out with this big official performance, and it has people scratching their head. Like, why are people inviting him back to the music industry like so quickly? It hasn't even been a year, and he's pretty much just, his career's back. And this is a very big performance for Travis. He's going to be playing at this club, the 11 Ultra Club, for the Formula 1 Grand Prix. I didn't know what the Formula 1 Grand Prix was, but it looks like it's a race. So there's a ton of people going to Miami for this race to watch and enjoy. And Travis is going to be around and performing. He won't be performing at the race, but he will be performing at the club. And these club promoters are betting on a big payday because these, rich, race car fanatics are all in town. The high-profile race is set to bring the jet set to town, with hotel rooms running up to $120,000 per night. What the hell? Tables at the club that Travis will be at are about $5,000 to $100,000 per table. So these are like the top 1%ers out here. But again, why do people want Travis there? Can't you have someone else there? And the Club 11 seems to be aware that this is controversial. They were making social media posts about this event, but they received some backlash and they started to back up and, remove marketing materials. But the website is still active and it looks like you can buy tickets for about $150 to $250. So maybe that's just like standing room or just like general access to the event. I did notice that there were two different type of tickets, like one for people who are male and one for people who are female. Which I think is interesting because they always charge guys so much more. I'm always like, oh, can you just charge me at the girls? Like I roll up with like 5 of my friends who are girls. Like, please don't make me pay the extra $100. Like, I'm not going to be creeping on people there. But this is what the website looks like. As I mentioned earlier, I had a conversation with my friend Charlie Min, who created the film documentary Concert Crush. So let's go ahead and get into that conversation. Today, I am joined with Charlie Min, who is a filmmaker and recently made a documentary about the Travis Scott tragedy. If you guys did not know, it's been about a year since the Astroworld Festival. Actually, when is that anniversary, Charlie?
November 5th, but the 6-month anniversary was this weekend, actually, Thursday, May the 5th. So the 6-month anniversary has come and gone, and Travis Scott is performing on Saturday the 7th.
Yeah.
With no regards to the victims.
Before we get into his return, I do want to note that Charlie did create this documentary, Concert Crush, which you guys can check out using the link below. It is, 50% off, so you guys can go and watch it by using that link. And during this documentary, Charlie spoke to a bunch of victims who experienced Astroworld and how tragic it really was. And now that like Travis is 6 months later returning to the stage, everyone has been taken back. So let's talk a little bit about his performance coming up. It's going to be on Saturday, I believe, in Miami. And who the hell wants Travis to be at their show after this? Like, do they want a ruined reputation?
I mean, anyone who goes to this festival is putting their body on the line. I mean, this is a dangerous rapper, proven by the 10 people who died last November at NRG Park in Houston. It's amazing to me that he's allowed to continue performing. He signed up for 3 more dates in November in South America. One of them falls on November the 6th, which is the day after the 1-year anniversary. And as I said, on Saturday, this Saturday, which is the 7th of May, he's going to be performing at the 11 nightclub in Miami, and that's 2 days after the 6-month anniversary. And I have a better chance of becoming pregnant than Travis Scott even knowing about these landmark anniversaries, not to mention it's Mother's Day weekend. And this is happening while a lot of moms are still grieving over losing their children. A 9-year-old died last November at Astroworld. And it's, again, incredible to me that here we have a father of 2 in his 30s who's showing absolutely no compassion and performing when this just happened, a tragedy that happened in his backyard.
Exactly. And I'm just like, when I think back to that situation, I felt like there was a mentality that like Travis Scott isn't going to recover from this. It's going to be years and years until we see him hit the stage. And I am just so taken back that he is 6 months later going to be performing again. And I don't even know why this like 11 club would want someone like him to be there. I mean, it seems like it's just like a opportunity that Travis was presented with and just kind of jumped on it, and now he's starting to slowly reemerge. So I mean I'm sure this 11 club is getting some backlash for even having Travis at their venue, wouldn't you think?
Yes, and it's all about money. Let's forget about humanity. That's the society we live in today. It's all about the dollar bill. And again, this guy is performing 2 days after the 6-month anniversary and Mother's Day weekend, no less. So anyone who goes to this event this weekend is an idiot. I'll get right to it. Again, a 9-year-old died at this thing last November in Houston, but you wouldn't think it because all the focus has been on Travis Scott, his significant other, and nothing has been really talked about with the victims who really should be the ones mentioned here.
Yeah, exactly. And I do feel like when it comes to Travis's community, I guess per se, he definitely does cultivate an environment that becomes violent and dangerous. So I question this 11 club because, like, are they doing it because now they're going to get press? And also, how is the media going to even cover this? Because part of me thinks that they're going to be all like, "Oh, Travis returned, and maybe just kind of disregard Astroworld in general. I just don't know. I think this is like an awful move in the wrong direction of like Travis, slowly reemerging in the public eye. And these people, this lawsuit hasn't even been settled or close to settled, right?
Right. There's lawsuits out there that's into the billions, and God only knows when that's going to be settled. That's if it is settled. Maybe they will end up going to trial on this thing. My gut feeling tells me there's going to be a hefty settlement, and that's it. I think if you want 100% justice, which is what I want which is the outcome I want as a result of this documentary, 100% justice for the victims, then there will be a hefty settlement plus jail time. Again, 10 people died. And how did we get around that, including a 9-year-old? So it's deplorable, pathetic that 11, the nightclub, would resort to this type of level. It's shameless if you think about it. But again, Sloan, that's the society we live in today. There's no humanity left anymore. It's all about corruption, the buck, the rich get richer, the people with less clout get the shaft. This is a clear example of that. And I don't even know if Travis Scott realizes that it's 2 days after anniversary and he's performing again. It's pathetic.
I'm sure he doesn't. It's probably the last thing on his mind. And when it comes to this lawsuit, I mean, I feel like, it would make sense for him to like maybe reemerge after everything's settled, after justice has been served. But I mean, this lawsuit's going to take, I mean, it could be years, can't it? Or do you know any updates on that front?
Yeah, after talking and consulting with a couple of the attorneys, they do think this will take maybe 2 to 3 years. And I guess Mr. Scott and his people, they don't have the patience to wait that long. So until we're waiting this thing out, I guess he's free to maneuver here and do whatever he wants. And there's a criminal investigation going on right now. Lawsuit upon lawsuit upon lawsuit is being piled up, and it's going to be combined into one mega suit before one presiding judge. So when I asked a couple of the lawyers involved with this thing, they think it's going to be 2 to 3 years before we get a result on what's going to happen from this. Now, in terms of the criminal investigation, it's been 6 months, and I don't know when that will be settled. But once we get the result from that, then we'll be able to move on to the next phase.
Yeah, and I just think like, okay, so 2-3 years, that's a long time. Travis is now performing 6 months later. It's like, imagine if there's any injuries or anything in his next few shows. Like, I can't imagine that would help his case in any way if, let's say, God forbid, that someone at this nightclub 11 this weekend is somehow injured at a Travis Scott show. I mean, that headline right there, it's just, I feel like I would want to avoid it at all costs. So it makes me question why he's returning and how these venues are even really comfortable like hosting him unless they plan to have some crazy security and I mean all of that. He's gotten in trouble for pretty much inciting a riot, I believe, in a past show. Was that at Lollapalooza? At one of these festivals like years and years ago, he got charged with like inciting a riot. So he's capable of really getting the crowd riled up, and it's not something that was exclusive to like, Astroworld. He's done this for years and years. It's the type of crowd that likes to go to Travis Scott shows. So I can't imagine like the possibility of an injury or something at the show this weekend.
Don't be surprised if there is an injury. Again, anyone who goes to this concert is an idiot, and they should put that on their foreheads if they go to this concert on Saturday at 11. They should literally put on their forehead, I am an idiot, and I am putting my life on the line. So there should be protests and rallies outside the 11 because this is an absolute insult to the victims and their families. This thug, in my view, should not perform again because, again, 10 people died under his watch. He
Yeah.
knew there was a problem in Houston. He acknowledged an ambulance. He acknowledged that people were down, and he kept going. And that's, again, the $64,000 question. Why did he keep going when he knew, when he acknowledged himself that there were problems going on at his concert? So shame on the nightclub 11. You might as well rename
Yeah.
yourself 13 because that's an unlucky number. So
Or
bad
666.
situation here. Bad situation all the way around. And Mother's Day weekend, while the moms are still grieving, losing 10 children, this guy who acts like a criminal is running around performing, making millions upon millions of dollars when he should be in jail.
And I'm just surprised that he's performing again so soon. Like, I feel like if anything else would make a little bit more sense. Like him maybe working on another album, making more music, like preparing for a comeback, opposed to just coming back, pretty much forcing himself upon us again. And I'm sure this 11 is like, I don't know if maybe they're getting a good discount. Maybe they're like trying to get some press from this situation, but there's no good explanation for any business owner to try to house a performance like this after months after such a vicious festival.
All about the dollar bill, Sloan. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about. And they saw an opening, and they went for it. Reputation doesn't matter anymore. It's about the dollar bill. Who cares if it's Mother's Day weekend? Who cares if moms are grieving? Who cares if it's 2 days after the 6-month anniversary? And again, let's not forget about those 3 dates he has in South America, with one of them on November the 6th, which is one day after the 1-year anniversary. And that's also Live Nation. The 3 performances in South America, the promoters, Live Nation, they should really be called Dead Nation because there's no live with them. That's what they should be called. I mean, don't forget, they were the promoter for the Route 91 Vegas concert festival, whatever you want to call it, back on October 1st, 2017, when almost 500 people were shot. Why would anyone in their right mind go to this concert, put their lives on the line? And again, just absolutely no regard for the victims here. And this thing on Saturday should be stopped at 11, because you cannot have this go on where you have a repeated music artist always putting people's lives and their bodies and well-being on the line.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely be saying a prayer for all those attending 11 this weekend. But let's talk a little bit about the Concert Crush film. I just want to ask how everything went this weekend. Or last week, I know that it went into theaters and people were able to see it and react to it. How do you feel about everything?
Well, I tell you, Sloan, first of all, thank you for asking. Streaming is the way to go today. And the streaming numbers were excellent. So streaming against box office, it's not even close now. It's streaming. And when you think about it, the movie was released independently in 11 Texas cities, but that's only one state out of 50 in America.
Yeah.
So the streaming option is the option to go to, because now you're hitting up all 50 states. And I know, Sloan, you're very popular everywhere. And that interview I did with you last week, I would say probably got me more attention than any other interview I've ever done. And I've been on MSNBC. I've been on Fox News Channel. You absolutely kicked their ass in terms of exposure, likability, and people contacting me after. I'm not just saying this to make you feel good. I'm saying this because it's a fact. So I've done a lot of interviews, even on a national level, but you have definitely captured the hearts of America. And so many people like your style and your growth and how you've come along, and you're just a kid. So congratulations to you that you're creating such positive energy out there and people are taking note.
Thank you. Well, I mean, and like you saw, you got overwhelming support because people really do believe in your mission to bring light to these tragedies, to, give a voice to these victims. So, people admire that. And I think that it's important work. So I'm always happy to have you on my channel. If there's anything else you'd like to add to our conversation, I mean, I think that overall, it's just like, it's like you said, deplorable that Travis Scott is coming back so shortly after. It's like 10 victims. There's not even a month per victim that he could, like, it's just so weird. There's so many different ways to think of it. And I can't imagine being him going on stage and not thinking about those lives lost. But I don't think he gives a flying F about it. I don't think he has from the beginning. And even when he tried to go and pay off those, like, funeral bills and things like that. It is all for like showmanship to try to make him seem like he's got some empathy towards the situation, but frankly, he doesn't. And I think his half-assed, not even an apology, where he did his rubbing his face and talking to his Instagram, and the lack of just awareness by the Kardashians and his entire family is insulting to these people. So I'm glad that you're keeping this tragedy alive and keeping the victims' voices heard.
My fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience.
It's deplorable. It's deplorable that that the victims' families have to go through all this, and anyone else who fights for justice. And again, it's an awful situation. I'm a victim-driven filmmaker. All my attention is towards the victims. So sorry that you have to go through this. A lot of people were affected from Astroworld 2021. We had 300 others injured. Don't forget, we had thousands suffering from PTSD. And this fool has to go up there and perform again. He just can't get out of his own way. He just can't help himself. And people should really express their concerns to the 11 nightclub in Miami for hosting this guy. And for more information on the film, people can go on concertcrushfilm.com. And again, if anybody wants to reach out to me about any injustice, any situation that needs justice, whether it's an unsolved crime or something, please email me at charliemin@aol.com. We received a lot of your emails. We read all of them, and we do consider them for projects. So again, charliemin at AOL, CHARLIE, M as in Mary, INN as in Nancy at AOL.com. If you feel as if you have been wronged in any way or know someone that has been wronged and needs a voice, please hit up that email.
Awesome. I'll link that below. I'll link your website below. And I'll maybe even see if 11 has an Instagram. Maybe we can go let them know in the comments that we're not happy that Travis Scott's going to be there. So thank you so much, Charlie, for joining me on this call. Definitely go and check out the links below. Go and email him if you guys have a story to tell. And I will see you guys in a new video soon. Bye, guys. I just want to say a huge thanks for Charlie coming onto my channel. Thank you so much. Leave a comment what you thought about this video below. What do you think about the performance? Are you over it? Because we are. Anyways, I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.